bogus and silliest things. No, I'm kidding, y'all. Just joking. But today on the show, we're actually going to be talking about Cinderella. Actually, yep, this pretty young thing right here, for you Disney and Pixar people. But I'm not going to be a spoiler alert, so I encourage you guys to watch the video and let me know in the comments. So, who am I kidding? Anyway, so we're going to be talking about the Hans Christian Andersen. Well, no, not Hans Christian Andersen. Sorry about that, folks. Actually, Cinderella was created by the Brothers Grimm, and what you guys may not know is that Cinderella is actually the oldest Disney princess ever. Yeah, I bet y'all didn't know about that. And no lie, true story. So so before I get in to do that, I'm gonna need you guys to do me a favor, is hit that like button and subscribe so we can get this series keep going. And if you want to support my Patreon, there's a link below. And now, without further ado, let's get into it. But before I talk about the actual story of Cinderella, I'm actually going to mention the history of Cinderella. So, buckle up, ladies and germs. So, this is a picture. Oh, brother. Sorry about that, folks. This is an actual picture from the actual first story called The Egyptian Cinderella. I do apologize if it's backwards because it's the camera, so yeah. In that story, her name is Rhodopis, and what happens is that she gets kidnapped by pirates and she's stolen from her home. So she gets sold into slavery. Only difference is that the slave owner isn't just as cruel as the wicked stepmother. Only difference is that he just basically just lets her be treated as such by servants that picks on her because she's white and has blonde hair, while the rest of them has dark skin and brown hair. Well, that's kind of messed up because I preferably don't care whether you're black or white, like my idol Michael Jackson. Anyway, so yeah. Oh, and I forgot to mention her name is actually Rhodopis. So what happens to Rhodopis is that she has these slippers. Would these people stop texting me? Damn it. Anyway, sorry ladies and folks. Stressful day. So anyway, so what happens to Rhodopis is that she has golden slippers that get stolen by a falcon and gets dropped off to the pharaoh. And then he says, I must marry this maiden that fits the slipper. And so they get married, and it's nothing really new. Now, without further ado, I'm actually going to get into the origin of Cinderella by the Brothers Grimm. And I'm actually going to use props for this. So, here's how the story goes about the Brothers Grimm version, not the Disney version. So, in this story, we don't even know if her name is Cinderella. Actually, the girl, we just know her as Ella. Like, that's what I'm just gonna call her, Ella. But further, I'm just gonna call her Cinderella for the sake of clarity for you guys. So, anyway, how the story begins is that Cinderella's mother passes away, and her father remarrying shortly after. Sorry about this, folks. Hold on a second. Sorry about that. I'm fixing that. Sorry. So anyway, what was I saying? Oh, so Cinderella's father remarries after her mother's death, thinking that having a mother around would be in her daughter's best interest. Ironically, this new mother is actually really mean to her, and actually is worse than Stewie when he first got his first tooth. Just joking, you guys. Anyway, so this is a terrible stepmother. She has two wicked stepdaughters who also is mean to Cinderella, which is pretty bummer. Actually, you guys, the story is actually really closely to the movie, but only there are certain distinctive details that is different. So you guys might want to pay attention. So anyway, they basically berate her, treat her like a slave. They take away everything, including her clothes, the furniture in her bedroom, and even making her sleep by the fire. That makes her constantly look dusty and dirty. And actually, that's why she got the nickname Cinderella. And that's pretty bad. I wouldn't treat my stepsisters like that, even if I don't like them. So anyway, so some time goes by, and the king's son wants to find a bride, so he throws a ball, inviting all the maidens in the land. But difference from the movie is that this party actually takes place across 3 nights. So naturally, Cinderella asks her stepmom to go, but she says no, and makes a bogus excuse of why she can't go. And actually the line is this: "Oh, Cinderella, you cannot go because you will embarrass us and you look like a wrench." Gee, what a harsh mom. "And you cannot dance and don't have any clothes or best dresses. You would embarrass us and we pity you." Gee, that's so rude. Anyway, so Cinderella actually cries and goes to a tree, which she says this weird magic spell. She says, little tree, shake over me, so that way silver gold may come down and cover me. Naturally, this tree actually has doves and mice that's living in the street that Cinderella took care of previously, and they bring her anything that she wants, including this glass slipper. So she puts it on and goes to the ball, totally unrecognizable by her family, and she's looking so beautiful that even the prince only dances with her throughout the night. But when the prince wanted to ask her when she would she like to go home, she basically straight up run away from him and disappears up a pigeon coop. That's kind of funny. I'm no joke, guys. She actually disappears up a pigeon coop. Anyway, so the second night the ball happens, and it's kind of the same thing, only thing on repeat. Only difference is that she's wearing a gold dress. And no kidding, she doesn't wear a blue dress all through these nights. So this time, when the prince asks to take her, oh my goodness, guys, sorry, I gotta turn off on my notifications from Facebook. Sorry. So what happens in this night? She pretty much does the same thing. Only difference is that she runs away from him and disappears behind a pigeon coop. And that's pretty funny. So anyway, the third night happens, and she runs away from the prince again, but only he saw that coming, and so he set a trap for her. And what I mean a trap, I mean a trap. Well, not in a perverted way. Anyway, the palace stairs was decorated in a sticky substance called pitch, and that's kind of what you use to make glue. Anyway, so what happens is that this beautiful glass slipper comes right off, and she loses it. And so he basically declares that whatever maiden that fits this shoe, he would marry her. And so guys, especially for y'all who are kids, viewer discretion is advised, because this actual part of the story gets pretty gruesome, so buckle up. So the stepsisters are trying on this glass slipper, but one sister actually chops off her cuts off her big toe, which is this one, and tries to put on the slipper. She tries to put on the slipper, but because it's filling up with blood, the prince pretty much takes her back and has the other sister put on the slipper. Only difference is that this one is not the brightest tool in this shed, and actually chops off her heel, which is no bigger than this one, and tries to slip her on herself. Again, the prince fell for it again and found that the slipper was filling with blood. And when he came back to the house, he demanded that if there was any other maidens in the house. So he says, so he pretty much finds Cinderella, and she pretty much fits the on the glass slipper. And so he takes her to the castle and marries her. A little while later, while the stepsisters was walking to Cinderella's wedding, and this is actually my favorite part of the story, so you guys want to buckle up for this one. As they're walking, the birds that I mentioned earlier from the tree that helps Cinderella actually comes out of nowhere and picks out the eyes of the stepsisters and making them go blind forever. And honestly, I really wish that Disney would include this, because why wouldn't they? It's actually a mix-up. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that is the story of Cinderella. And if you guys want to know what I'm talking about, go on Google and search it up. That's where I'm basing my main source. And that, my folks, is a wrap. So I will post a new episode really soon, so be sure to stick around and leave your comments to talk to see what other story I should talk about next. So ladies and gentlemen, I am Princess Ocean, and I will see you later.